Disclaimer before we get started, I am not a doctor or a medical professional. This podcast is not meant to give medical advice or education, merely entertainment. If you have a medical question, please ask your doctor. Thank you. Hello everybody, welcome to Crocheting Through Medical History. I am Maria, here to crochet and talk about medical history. Hopefully today's audio is a little better than last time. Sam and I have both messed around with this microphone and can't figure out why it is being choppy for me, but I think it should be at least a little bit better today, hopefully. My apologies if it's not, and I will keep trying to make it better. Today we will be talking about the history of music therapy. I was going to do a real episode, and then it was not coming together in time, so we are stuck with this, but I'm excited. Thank you to my brother Miles for suggesting this. I'm excited to get into it. We're actually just going to be reading a few articles. I am going to be crocheting a little bumblebee like this. Little bumblebee. Look how cute he is. I'm going to be making another one of these because I'm making a lot of them. If you want to see them, go to my Instagram, Maria Makes, and you can see the cute little bees that I'm making. I think that is all, so let's get into it. After I make a magic circle because I can't talk while I do that. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, magic circle done. Let's actually get into it now. So the first article that we will be reading is on goodtherapy.org, and it is simply titled Music Therapy. Music therapy, a type of expressive arts therapy that uses music to improve and maintain the physical, psychological, and social well-being of individuals, involves a wide range of activities such as listening to music, singing, and playing a musical instrument. This type of therapy is facilitated by a trained therapist and is often used in hospitals, rehabilitation centers, schools, correctional facilities, nursing homes, and hospices. The history of music therapy. Music has been used as a therapeutic tool for centuries and has been shown to affect many areas of the brain, including the regions involved in emotion, cognition, sensation, and movement. This fact, combined with the engaging nature of music and the diversity of music forms, makes music uniquely effective in the treatment of a wide array of physical and mental problems, including depression, anxiety, and hypertension. When traveling music groups played for hospitalized veterans during both world wars, doctors and clinicians began to realize the powerful effects that music has on the healing process and requested that professional musicians be hired by the hospitals. This created a need for specialized training in the appropriate delivery of music as a therapeutic method. Gradually, colleges and universities began to include music therapy as part of their curriculum, beginning with Michigan State University in 1944. In 1950, the first major professional organization for music therapists was formed, and it became known as the National Association for Music Therapy, NAMT. In 1998, the American Music Therapy Association, AMTA, was formed out of a merger between the NAMT and the American Association for Music Therapy. The AMTA focuses on increasing awareness of and access to music therapy services while promoting the advancement of education, training, professional standards, and research in the field of music therapy. Who can benefit from music therapy? This is going poorly. We're going to start this row over because I got confused. Music therapy can benefit many individuals. The diverse nature of music means it can be applied in the treatment of concerns both physical and psychological. In some instances, the therapeutic use of music has been able to help people in ways that other forms of therapy have not, as it can sometimes elicit responses that may not appear through more traditional forms of treatment. When people find it difficult to express themselves verbally, they may display a greater degree of interest and engagement in music therapy than they would in a more traditional form of therapy. No background in music is required for a person to benefit from this approach. Because music can evoke positive emotions and stimulate reward centers in the brain, music therapy is often able to alleviate symptoms of mental health concerns such as depression, mood-related concerns, anxiety, schizophrenia, substance dependency, autism, personality issues, insomnia, and dementia. Music therapy can both assess and enhance cognitive, social, emotional, and motor functioning. The studies have shown positive results among individuals who have intellectual or physical difficulties, brain injuries, or Alzheimer's. This type of therapy has also been used in the treatment of physical ailments such as cancer and hypertension. The positive effects of music therapy are not limited to those coping with severe or long-lasting physical and psychological problems, and this therapy can benefit people in a variety of situations. Music is frequently used to reduce stress levels and pain perception among mothers in labor and has been associated with improvements in self-esteem, self-concept, verbal communication, pro-social behavior, socialization skills, group cohesion, and coping skills. What happens in a music therapy session? The intervention methods employed in music therapy can be roughly divided into active and receptive techniques. When a person is making music, whether by singing, chanting, playing musical instruments, composing, or improvising music, that person is using active techniques. Receptive techniques, on the other hand, involve listening to and responding to music, such as through dance or the analysis of lyrics. Active and receptive techniques are often combined during treatment, and both are used as starting points for the discussion of feelings, values, and goals. Music therapy can be conducted with individuals or in groups, and the music may be chosen by the therapist or by the person in therapy. A music therapist will generally ensure the type and mode of the chosen form of music, as well as the timing of the music intervention, are appropriate for meeting the needs and goals of the individual in therapy. When introducing music, therapists often base their selections on the ISO principle, which states music is more likely to have influence if it matches an individual's current condition. Therapists therefore try to ensure the lyrics and melody of the selected piece of music are well matched with the mood and psychological state of the person in therapy. Songwriting is commonly used in music therapy and may involve writing original songs or modifying existing ones, with the latter being a more structured approach to writing. A person might modify a song by changing some of the words or lines, adding new verses, or writing entirely new lyrics to match the existing tune. In cases where songs are freely composed, the therapist might provide an emotion or topic to serve as a starting point. Music therapy can be used in a variety of ways. When a person experiences difficulty communicating after a stroke, singing words or short phrases set to a simple melody can often enhance speech production and fluency. A person with impaired motor skills might improve fine motor skills by playing simple melodies on a piano or tapping out a rhythm on drum pads. Listening to a rhythmic stimulus, such as a metronome, can also help a person initiate, coordinate, and time their movements. A therapist might play a piece of music for children with autism who have limited social skills and ask them to imagine the emotional state of the person who created the music or the person playing it. Doing so can help a person with autism develop or strengthen the ability to consider the emotions others are experiencing. Hello, please go in, thank you. Okay. Group drumming circles have been used to induce relaxation, provide an outlet for feelings, and foster social connectedness among members of a group. Group members might sit in a circle with a hand drum while the therapist leads them in drumming activities that may involve group members drumming one at a time or all at once. Those who are part of the circle may be asked to express how they feel by playing a rhythm on their drum, or the group might be asked to improvise music as a means of increasing group cohesiveness. Music might be incorporated into guided imagery or progressive muscle relaxation techniques to enhance the effectiveness of these methods. Training for music therapists. Those wishing to become a music therapist must have at least a bachelor's degree in music therapy from an institution approved by the American Music Therapy Association. Music therapy programs involve coursework as well as an internship in an educational and/or healthcare facility. After successfully completing one of the AMTA-approved programs, individuals must take the national examination offered by the Certification Board for Music Therapists, CBMT. If they are successful in the examination, they receive the Credential Music Therapist Board Certified, MTBC, which is required for professional practice. Board certification is renewed every 5 years, and in order to maintain this credential, music therapists must retake the CBMT examination or complete 100 recertification credits within each 5-year period. Limitations of music therapy. Music therapy generally produces positive results, but it is not recommended as a standalone treatment for serious medical and psychiatric issues. While music may help to alleviate some of the symptoms of the conditions, other forms of treatment such as medication, physical therapy, or psychotherapy may also be necessary. Further, while it is possible for any form of music to be used effectively in music therapy, not all individuals will find each type of music to be therapeutic. The benefit of a particular type of music will often depend on an individual's preference and the condition experienced by that individual, and some music forms may actually cause agitation. To achieve success in music therapy, a therapist will likely need to ensure the musical preferences of the individual in treatment are taken into consideration. We're at the point of the bee where it looks really pointed in the face, and it needs a lot of squishing to get it flatter. Sometimes it isn't until you stuff it. Anyway, that was the first article. It's just a general, what is music therapy? I think he stopped, so I guess we're okay. So, the next article will be when did music therapy start, by, it's either in Sentence or in Cadence. I can't tell where they were going with the name, but in cadence.org, I guess. So how old is music therapy? The idea of using music for healing and changing health and behavior certainly goes as far back as writings of Aristotle and Plato. In some cultures, like Egyptian and Chinese, it goes back even farther. The earliest known reference to music therapy appeared in the late 18th century in an article in a Columbian magazine called Music Physically Considered. In the early 19th century, writings on the healing powers of music came up in 2 medical dissertations, one written by Edward Atlee in 1804 and another written by Samuel Matthews in 1806. What Atlee and Matthews had in common was that they were both students of Dr. Benjamin Rush, a physician and psychiatrist who believed in using music to treat physical health problems. The 19th century was also when the first psychological intervention that used music therapy was noted. It took place at Blackwell's Island in New York. The 19th century also saw the first known experiment using music therapy for mental health where a psychiatrist used music to change the dream states of patients during therapy. Music therapy and the ancient world. The idea of music therapy goes back thousands of years. Music was suggested as a way to benefit the human body in ancient Egyptian medical texts that date back as far as 1500 BCE. Greco-Roman, Arabian, Indian, and Chinese traditions of learned medicine incorporate various notions of music used for the therapeutic purpose. There are also stories and quotes in mythological and biblical texts that reference music therapy. Pythagoras, Aristotle, and Plato were all Greek philosophers, and they were known as some of the earliest to acknowledge and use the healing power of music. Pythagoras believed that music was connected to mathematics and could serve as an expression of something deeper. He explored how differing combinations of melodies, either played on instruments or sung, could influence mood. Following Pythagoras, Plato and Aristotle created a system based around music and established 4 ideas behind music. These ideas were moving, giving pleasure, creating moral virtue, and creating intellectual development. Plato also believed that music communes directly with the soul and that music can provide virtue and spirituality into our lives. He believed that this was the primary purpose of music over pleasure or enjoyment. Music therapy and the 20th century. A growing interest in music therapy was perceived during the 20th century, which resulted in the assembling of several music therapy associations, none of which lasted very long. In 1903, the National Society of Musical Therapeutics was founded by Eva Augusta Vesculius. Isa Maud Ilsen founded the National Association for Music in Hospitals in 1926. Harriet Ayer Seymour founded the National Foundation of Music Therapy in 1941. These organizations were notable for their contribution in the field by providing the first journals, books, and classes on musical therapy. Despite this, they were not able to turn into an organized, science-based profession. Music therapy began to be more widely used and accepted in both World War I and World War II. Professional and volunteer musicians would offer their services to wounded, sick, or mentally ill soldiers suffering from trauma. The patient's physical and emotional responses to music were extreme and notable, and led the doctors and nurses to continue requesting musicians' presence in hospitals. From this, it became apparent that some of the hospital musicians could benefit from prior training, and a push to create a college program based in musical therapy was kicked off. In the 1940s, 3 people emerged as innovators and key players in the development of music therapy as an organized clinical profession. Willem van de Waal kickstarted the use of music therapy in government-funded facilities and wrote the first how-to music therapy text, Music in Institutions, in 1936. Psychiatrist and music therapist Ira Altschuler, MD, touted the benefits of music therapy in Michigan for 30 years. E. Thayer Gaston, also known as the father of music therapy, was very important in moving the profession forward in terms of providing organization and education to help it develop. The first music therapy college programs also came to be in the 1940s, the first being started at Michigan State University in 1944. Other universities followed shortly after, including the University of Kansas, Chicago Musical College, College of the Pacific, and Alverno College. Music therapy has long been used to alleviate pain and suffering. Knowing how ancient of a practice music therapy is and how far it has come since its beginnings in the past really emphasizes the power of the practice. This also provides hope for the future. If music therapy has grown and progressed since the ancient world, who's to say what it can accomplish in the future? As time progresses, music therapy will only become more valued, especially in use with children and young adults. This guy's kind of chonky. I think I made him too big. This guy's really big. Oops. Oh well, it's fine. We'll have just one chunky boy without the little guys. Last article today is the history of music therapy on petersonfamilyfoundation.org. So, the Peterson Family Foundation believes music therapy has the ability to help alleviate pain and suffering in children and teens while they're in the hospital. Whether kids are listening to music or making it themselves, channeling their emotions into art helps both their mind and body. Music therapy involves a trained and certified professional using music in a clinical manner to improve healing in patients. Music is used to reduce pain, offer patients the ability to express themselves without words, and facilitate relaxation through singing, playing instruments, writing songs, or listening to music. For children, music therapy is a chance to explore their emotions by listening to songs or learning to play a new instrument. It is individualized, providing children of all ages and ability levels self-discovery and a chance to release emotions. The origins of music therapy go back millennia to the time of the Great Greek Empire. Music therapy in Greek mythology. Apollo is the Greek god of sun, light, music, and prophecy. Is the son of Zeus. He is worshipped for his ability to heal and ward off disease. It is believed that Apollo's lyre symbolizes the gift of music, which is the harmony of sounds. To have health and healing, there must be a harmonious ordering of all the vital forces within the organism. All the strings must be in tune. There's a deep therapeutic relationship between music and healing. Apollo is also credited with creating the flute and the lyre. Asclepius is the son of Apollo and inherited the gift of healing and music. Known as the god of medicine, Asclepius was raised by centaur Chiron, who taught him medicine and the healing arts. In Egyptian culture, they believe that Asclepius was able to cure illnesses of the mind through music and song. Sorry, my Percy Jackson era was short-lived, and that is showing through my pronunciations. Have you ever heard the phrase, music is cathartic? This phrase is important because it connects Aristotle and music therapy. The Oxford Dictionary defines catharsis as the process of releasing and thereby providing relief from strong or repressed emotions. Aristotle first spoke of catharsis in his book Poetics. The phrase has been debated and discussed for centuries. His theory of catharsis refers to the purification of emotion, especially pity and fear, through art. Aristotle thought that experiencing tragedy or comedy through the theater could have a cathartic impact on the body. Music therapy is important in providing catharsis to those who are sick, especially children and teens, because it allows them an outlet to express and purge their emotions. With the help of a music therapist, a child may be asked to listen to relaxing music to calm stress and anxiety. Based off their responses, music therapists measure the patient's emotional well-being to make plans for future treatments. As well as listening to music, playing an instrument, writing and singing songs have all been known to provide catharsis because these activities help release memories, negative emotions, and repressed feelings. Music therapy is an important part of the healing process because it can bring about a positive change in thoughts, behavior, and attitude, thus catharsis. As Mark Lorette, CEO of UCSF Medical Center and UCSF B'nai Children's Hospitals, explains, our patients come to us during difficult times in their lives. Hands-on music making offers them a way to work through the emotions that accompany illness or injury. For children of all ages, creative expression is a powerful source of comfort and connection while they're away from home. This boy is just so chonk. This is a chonky B-boy right here. B-boy, like Bebop. I've never seen Cowboy Bebop. Sorry, I'm a fake fan. I like the corgi though, I know that. Okie doke. So, music therapy in Native American culture. Not unlike Apollo's attributes in Greek mythology, Native Americans believed in harmony between mind and body. Tribes in Native American cultures believed that health was an expression of spirit, mind, and body. If anything was off, illness and harm could come their way. Only when harmony was achieved could health be restored. Healing practices of Native Americans go back thousands of years and differ slightly between tribes. Many not only used herbs, roots, and plants to create remedies for medical problems, but also believed in certain ceremonies and rituals to cure illness. In addition to herbal remedies, the tribe would often come together to help the sick through ceremonies, dances, prayer, and chanting. In tribes such as the Sioux and Navajo, if the group as a whole needed balance and harmony, they would use a medicine wheel, a sacred hoop, and hold ceremonies where they would sing and dance for days. When individuals were sick, designated healers would also sing, dance, chant, and use drums as part of the healing process. Medicine men and women believed their primary role was to secure the help of the spirit world, especially the creator or a great spirit, for the benefit of the community or an individual. The medicine man or woman was also a priest in addition to being a doctor. Believing the disease could be caused by human, supernatural, or natural causes, the healer was equipped to treat illnesses of any of these categories. Some healers would use song when they were called on to help a sick member of a tribe. According to Francis Densmore, Native American medicine men and women would fast in order to receive a song in a dream or vision that would instruct them on how to treat their patient. Music therapy in the military. Music therapy in the military goes all the way back to World War I and World War II. During two of the biggest wars in history, musicians in the community volunteered and went to veteran hospitals to play music for the wounded. Patients with physical and emotional trauma, or both, noticed a difference in their mood and experienced a positive emotional response to the music. Doctors and nurses also recognized an improvement in patients and began hiring musicians to play in hospitals. Fast forward to 2012, when a historic program was established through the National Endowment for the Arts, NEA, in partnership with the U.S. Department of Defense. The NEA brought a music therapy platform to patients at the Walter Reed National Military Medical Center. This program reflects the growing trend of creative art therapy programs in healthcare settings. An event held at the Pentagon in 2014 showcased military veterans' artwork that expressed their invisible wounds. Art therapists, as well as music therapists and professional creative writers, took service members through the creative process, allowing them to reflect and organize thoughts that had been troubling them. The involvement of music therapy in the military is an incredible example of how powerful and meaningful it is to be able to express one's emotions during a difficult time. Today, music therapy is a critical part in many pediatric hospitals, including Boston Children's Hospital and University of California, San Francisco, Benioff Children's Hospital. Not unlike the soldiers of World War I and II, present-day patients, nurses, and doctors have all noticed a positive change when children engage in music therapy. The UCSF Benioff Children's Hospital has experienced outcomes of stress relief, behavioral modification, distraction, and pain management from their music therapy programs. According to Julie Pullman, Child Life Services teacher/supervisor at USCF Benioff Children's, parents have reported that music was the only thing to bring a smile to their child's lips during their hospital admission. To keep this exciting method of healing, over 72 colleges offer bachelor's and doctorate degrees in music therapy. Berklee College of Music is one example of a university that offers education and degrees in music therapy. Not only do students learn music theory, the history of music therapy, and how to teach and assess skills, they are also trained in how to operate in clinical settings. There may be few subjects that have a more interesting and diverse history than music therapy. Greek mythology and Greek philosophers created an interesting discussion of the power of music and how it can be used as a healing tool. Native Americans centered much of their healing practices around the use of chant and songs and rituals to mend and aid the sick. The United States military during the World War I and II and in recent history have used music therapy to help veterans by playing music and getting them involved in the creative process. Music therapy has evolved quite a bit from military volunteers to students studying to be professionals in the field. The success of music therapy in the past shines a bright light on the future of this form of healing. Knowing how far music therapy has come and where it is now only instills hope and possibility for how far we can take it. Music therapy is important because it not only gives children and teens the opportunity to listen to music, but to also get involved and create music for themselves. The ability to creatively express oneself in an emotional setting, such as a hospital, cannot be taken for granted. If you would like to see more music therapy programs in hospitals to help children and teens relieve pain and improve their emotional state, please consider donating to the Peterson Family Foundation so we can make it a reality. Those were the articles we have for today. Thank you to Good Therapy in Cadence and the Peterson Family Foundation for those articles. Thank you for listening. I don't have any real life people to talk to today, but next week we will have an interview with a real life sick person, or maybe two. So keep your eyes out for that. As always, if you enjoyed today's episode, give me a like, give me a subscribe or a follow, and comment. If you have any topic suggestions, or if you have a condition that you would be interested in talking to me about, please let me know. Comment, DM me, whatever. I would love to talk to you and get your input and add your voice to the show. You can find me on Instagram, Maria Makes Makes, or on YouTube, Maria Hegerman. This has been Crocheting Through Medical History. Everybody stay safe, stay healthy, and I will see you next time. Bye!